All right. I caught it. I caught it. I caught it. Gonna start over again. Hi, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita Louise, and thank you for tuning into the show today. Oh, man. Okay, so tonight's show, we're going to be talking about myths. And myths, for many people, are just thought of as these fanciful stories, and maybe they have a moral component to them, or they might explore some concept of explaining the natural world, like earthquakes and thunder. There are some people that suggest that the characters in these stories are archetypes of a certain, Jungian archetype. But when we look at our most ancient myths, what we find is they are the stories of the gods. They're not the stories of us, they are the stories of the gods. And when mythologists and ethnographers and researchers look at these stories, they assume that different cultures developed their own myths, and these myths developed independently. And that, and there's no connection one to the other. But when you survey myths from around the world, what you actually find is a global narrative, one story that all cultures carry. And this global narrative starts with literally in the beginning, and it goes to the story of the flood, like Noah's flood. And you could conclude to the story of the Tower of Babel, even though you don't find parallel stories of the Tower of Babel. But once the flood happens, we find a diversion of myths that do take on a more regional and local form to them. One of the other things that you find is that the focus of the myth, instead of being the stories of the gods, like, hey, I'm Zeus and I'm going to go do this, and I'm Poseidon, and my name is Dr. Rita and I'm watching Zeus and Poseidon have a conversation. Two, they are stories of humanity and their interaction with the gods, and there's always this very subservient posturing of humanity. But when you look at the body of works that you find around the world, you find similar stories. Some of the most common ones are the flood narrative, the Noah flood narrative, the story of how humanity got fire. One of my personal favorites that I'm going to come back to is the sun, moon, and stars being put into the sky, or a battle of control of the earth, a battle between the gods for control over the earth. So as an example, they contend that there are over 500 flood narratives that you find on the planet. And so if you were in New Orleans during that flood and you were telling your story, that would be your flood narrative. And if you were in Southeast Asia when they had that tsunami hit that island, that would be your flood narrative. And those stories would not be the same, just naturally. But that's not what you find when you look at the flood story. And when I was beginning to do this research, that was one of the very first stories I started dealing with. And I had a notebook and I am ready to take down all of these variations of stories and compare them and blah, blah, blah. And I ended up literally with 2 pages and could condense those 2 pages into one paragraph. And the one paragraph tells us that a righteous, pious, or virtuous man is warned of an impending flood. He builds a boat, an ark, a canoe, gets in a canoe, climbs a tree, climbs to the top of a mountain, gets on a leaf, and survives the flood with maybe his wife, maybe an old man. In some stories, animals are with them, but not all of them. In some stories, an animal is released to let them know dry land appeared. What I found interesting is that there's a handful that release a bird to let them know dry land appeared, but you find those stories dotted around the world. They're not centered in one area. And so are we really talking about different stories? Because even the tone and the tenor of the story is repetitive. And so even though there are small details that are changed, they're really a lot alike. But what's interesting is that if you take the narratives that come before and after, you can literally start to create a chronology about our history based on the mythic record. And so if that's something that you're interested in, and I'm going to hold this up, I cover this specifically in this book. So this version is on my website, Man-Made, The Chronicles of Our Extraterrestrial Gods. If you go on Amazon, it is listed as E.T. Chronicles: What Myth and Legends Have to Say About Humanity. Okay, but you might be skeptical that we have this chronology, or that there might be something going on or not. And so, I was talking about the sun, moon, and the stars being placed in the sky, which I always thought was a kind of weird thing. And when you look at the biblical narrative, and please forgive me if I get the days wrong here, but in the biblical narrative, on the third day, God creates all the plants that populate the earth's surface. And then on the fourth day, he puts the sun, the moon, and the stars into the sky, which seems kind of impossible, because how could you have plants and not have a sun? It just doesn't work that way. And I always found that weird. Like, they mixed up the days. There was a mistake in the Bible. Couldn't really figure that out. But then you start looking at myths around the world and these stories. And as part of the stories, there's this fight that happens, and the one group of gods takes over the earth, and they start terraforming, my word, not theirs, the planet. And then the sun, moon, and stars are placed in the sky, just like you find in the Bible. So if you believe the Bible, maybe you need to believe these other stories. And to me, the more credit, the stories, because you find them around the globe, become more credible when you find them in more places. So for me, if I find a story that comes out of Sumerian text, but then I find a parallel story that comes out of Australia, and another story that comes out of the Americas, that tells me that I'm attached to something real and something that is valid, versus the story of Atlantis, which you really only find in Plato's writing, and you do not find, and I'm going to say, that specific narrative in other texts. There are stories that perhaps allude to it, but in the use of keywords and use of more specific narratives that you find in these other stories, the Atlantis story just does not fit at all. So without going into a whole lot of detail, because, I try to keep this to 15 minutes and I blew part of my time, and I'm going to come back to this. And if there's something you would like for me to cover about this, or really anything, please drop me a line and I will add it to my list. But without getting into more details, there's two possible explanations as to how we could have this global narrative. And so, according to Michael Wetzel, he's a Sumerian and something scholar who wrote this book that was like that thick, that was actually kind of interesting, that talks about this. And his theory is that these stories have to be at least 65 million years old, because that's when groups of people started spreading out and inhabiting different areas on the planet. And his assumption is that the dominant group, the stories of the dominant group, became the myths of these other areas, and that's how it spread around the world with human movement. However, if you pay attention to the myth and what myth suggests, myth tells us that the gods taught us these stories, and they taught us of our origins and the stories of the gods. It's a really interesting topic. Again, man-made, the Chronicles of Our Extraterrestrial God on my website, soulhealer.com, or E.T. Chronicles. I do not have a copy here. E.T. Chronicles: What Myth and Legends Have to Say About Human Origins. If you guys find this topic interesting, I got a ton of material, so I will revisit it if it's a keeper. So I'm just going to do my little announcement and say hi to everyone, and we will open things up. So if you'd like to buy my book, Man-Made: The Chronicles of Our Extraterrestrial Gods, please, or or you would like to schedule a private consultation with me because, I can't cover everything in our short little sessions here, please go to soulhealer.com and drop me a line, sign up for the newsletter to keep you informed of what's going on. Also in the show notes, it has places where you can check out the show. So even if you're regularly listening to this on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, please, if you have accounts in these other areas, please like and follow and subscribe to my page. I would really appreciate it. Because it just helps get the word around. And I would also love it if you guys, while you're here, or if you see my post come up, if you would share that with other people so we can spread the word and share the love, share the Dr. Rita love. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to go to comments. I'm going to say hi to everybody again. Sorry about the boo-boo this morning or at the beginning. Wow, lots of comments. All right, let's see. So I think Ahura was going to come back. I don't know if she's here. Marco's here. Hey, Marco. Christine's here. Karen. Hi, Karen. First time. Hi, Karen. Sorry about my little boo-boo at the beginning. Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Amy. Sorry about no YouTube last week, Amy. Had a show, just no YouTube. Okay, Michelle says she can't hear me. That's because well, Marco, if you came over, you could help me with this. I know, I figured it out all by myself. All right. Marco says she'll figure it out in 30 minutes. It didn't take me 30 minutes this time. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hi, Gina. Victoria, hey. Hi, Denise. Joe. Cindy says Dr. Rita is amazing too. I like Cindy a lot. Ahura, you're here. Yay. Thank you. So Ahura, see, Marco didn't even say it. Ahura wins the prize today. I look fantastic and the new haircut is nice on you. Thank you. RLCC, hey, how's it going? Dawn, hey, Dawn. Wendy, hi, Wendy. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, David. Mr. Avalar, I was told you were hiding in the background last week. I am so glad that you have decided to join us here in public. See, I'm even going to send you a little heart and everything. And I'll try not to embarrass you. Hi, Dave. All right, so I have a new rule, everybody. This is a new rule that started last week, but a lot of you, especially Marco, were not here. And so if you are trying to communicate with me, like I would like to get a reading and then a number 1 through 3 for how many times I shuffle, can you please put that all in caps, or, the bulk of it in caps? If there's a comment directed to me, you have a question, you have a comment directed to me versus chit chat in the chat room, capital letters, because there's so much dialogue going on. It has just been really hard to sort through it all. And I don't want to put my glasses on. So there. All right, going back up to the top. I'm going past all the no sound part. Okay, finally sound. Amy. Oh, Denise. Did I say hi, Denise? Hi, Denise. Let's see. So Gina says, your books are amazing, should be on everyone's must-read list. That's right. Horace says, those are not all facts, but as you are saying, it's story. And Ahura, what I would like to suggest is that there's truth to these stories, because it doesn't make sense that everyone on the planet would have stories that are virtually identical, unless they came from somewhere else, or they were so, why remember a story if there isn't some truth or some importance to us over the thousands and thousands of years? So as an example, and I appear on a radio show called David Zublick's Awake Nation, and I'm on every other Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Central. I would give you a link, but I still have yet to figure out where that streams to directly. And I was on this week, so in 2 weeks I'll be back on, and usually I'll stream it to my Facebook and YouTube channel. So 9 a.m. on Wednesdays. And okay, I was totally going somewhere, and now I lost my train of thought. But I got that pitch out, so it's all good. Maybe it'll come back, and I'll come back to you, Ahura. Okay, so Don says he would like a reading. All right, Don, you're the first one today. Woohoo! And you want a number 2. All right. Oh, Raylan, hush. All right, Don, let's see what the cards have to say. All right, and that's your card for today. Interesting. So Don, I really like this card for you. I really get the impression that you have really started, and this is kind of a pattern you've been on in the last few weeks, month or so, that you've really been looking inside and assessing and making, I don't want to say you're making decisions, but you're raising your awareness. And I feel like there are things that you're seeing inside of yourself that, you know, for lack of a better word, that you're kind of not liking. And you are trying to figure out how to change it, how to cut it out of your life, how to transition it, how to have it be something else, something different. You know, and I just want to put in, you know, change is not a 10-minute thing. You know, some people are like, but I've been doing it for a day, and how come it's not better or different? And I would like to suggest that, you know, it does take time, but the identification of things to me is the number one thing to do. Because once you know what's there or not there, then you can make different decisions on what to do with it or not. So good reading, Don. And you're doing really good. So congratulations, pat on the back. All right. Horace said the best is the way you catch the common aspects of all those cultures. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Cindy says it's very interesting. Yvonne says, boy, you guys are quick on me. I would like a reading 3, please. Okay. Okay, and this is your card for today. Okay. So Yvonne, I get the impression that you have, and I'm going to say some new plans that are, I'm going to put it a little further out in time, that are in the works. I feel like there might be some travel tied to it. I feel a lot of really good energy attached to it, but it's your good energy, which makes, you know, your good energy makes for good energy. So that's all happening. You know, and there is like this cranky energy that you were kind of carrying around for a while, and I'm not seeing that at all today. I feel like there's just been a big shift, and the word I want to give you is hopefulness now that you're feeling it. I feel like you're feeling it, and you're feeling lighter and more hopeful about moving forward. So let me know if that makes sense. But good. Man, everybody's doing good today so far. Okay, so Gina's going to go watch the debate. O'Hora said, may I have a reading, please? And again, anybody that's coming in late, if you want to communicate with me, if you could type your request in all caps. Anyone that's already requested a reading, I'm just going to go through one by one, but it just makes it easier for me. Okay. All right, O'Hora, this is your card. All right. Okay, so, whenever this card comes up, it's like it's kind of a relationship card. And whether it's a relationship with yourself or relationship with someone else, that's usually like the first place that I go. And what I'm feeling, and please correct me, and I will have follow-up commentary for you if where I'm going is indeed correct. But I'm feeling like there is a little bit of trouble in paradise, so whether this is a romantic relationship or just issues with a friend person that you're pretty close to. And I just am feeling like there is some discord in you and you're just not really sure what to do with it or how to handle it. So if that's resonating with you, could you remind me, relationship, discord, down below, because I have more commentary, but I don't want to necessarily get all weird and personal. Okay. All right. So Amy, Miss Amy, would like a reading today. 3, please. Everybody wants 3 today. Okay. Amy. Uh-oh, Amy. The infamous mask card. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Okay with that. Okay. Okay. All right. So there was your mask card. And I'm going to show you these if I can make myself work. Then this card came up, which is actually not a bad card. And then this card came up, which is not a bad card. And then this card came up, which is not a bad card. And then this card came up, which is not a bad card. But I was feeling like this is kind of all tied to this process that you're in right now that ended up with that card, that's the finale. So you did end up with this many cards, but they weren't like a bad card, a bad card, a bad card, but I just was feeling compelled to just keep pulling. So the way that I want to express this is that I'm feeling like there is, and the word that's coming up is some inner purging going on inside of you. I feel like you are in the process of moving to a deeper level of Amy, a more connected level of Amy. I feel like there's some learning and education, not like going to school or anything, but some things you need to figure out, so maybe there's been an issue going on and you are trying to resolve it within yourself because you don't want to do that anymore. And so I feel like this little journey that you on is really good because the you that comes out on the other end is just going to be much lighter and much happier. So yay. And I'm not feeling like this process is going to take a million years, but I am feeling like to move through the whole thing, we might be talking a couple of weeks. Okay, I want to clear these real quick. So Cindy's next. But I just want to clear these bad boys real quick. Okay, we have Cindy, and this is your card today, Cindy. You know, it's interesting, Cindy, because I just feel like you have been kind of in this Zen place lately. I mean, we don't stay in a Zen place for a super long time. I mean, we want to, but I just feel like you are just, there's a level of peacefulness to your space. And so I hope you've noticed that. You know, I hope you are taking stock of, you know, this is how I am, and this is what it feels like to experience peace and grounding and wholeness, because it feels really good. So let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Hi, Karen. You look like a new name. So welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm Dr. Rita Louise. And you just want a 1. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, so this is the card that came up for you. All right, hang on 1 second. There you go. There you go. I had to get Raylan situated. Okay. Karen, I just am getting the impression that you are seeing the world as a very mean and hostile place right now. I feel like you're tired and fatigued and frustrated. That's a big word that came up. You know, so I don't know if you have tools to work with, you know, grounding or breathing or tapping or going to the gym or cleaning your house to help you move out of that energy. I don't get the impression that this is your normal energy, but I feel like you just want people to leave you alone. And it's okay to be there every so often. You know, but if you're tired of being there, which I kind of get the impression you are, you know, working with some tools would be a great way to kind of shift that energy within yourself. So again, if anybody's gotten a session with me so far today, I would love to get some feedback if the session is making sense to you, or if you need a follow-up question, whatever. And as always, you can contact me at my website, soulhealer.com, and schedule a private consultation. Okay. So Mr. Avalar wants to know, ready for the debate? It's like, I got the TV on. I would make some popcorn, but I apparently don't have any. Oh no, I'm so ready. So everybody, presidential debate right when this show ends. So, and Mr. Avalar, get a reading. So Victoria says, it's Feral Girl Summer. And then Yvonne said, Karen's my friend. I told her about how cool you are. Okay, Aurora already did you. So Barbara, I don't think I did you yet. And thank you all for the capital letters. All right, so Barbara, you would like a reading number 2. Okay. Well, this card just came up. Okay, so this is your card for today. It's interesting. The first thing that came up is that you just want to escape. I feel like it has been easier for you to more live in your, I don't want to say fantasy, but to live in the future, because what's going on day to day for you right now is kind of sucky. Um, but I want to make this commentary because your energy is so far in the future. When I bring your energy back into your body, I am picking up this like nervousness and not grounded, and it just doesn't feel good. And you're not noticing it because you're so far out of your body. And so that might be something for you to work on, is getting back into your body, because having your body have that level of stress and anxiety and just like nervous jitter in the big picture is just not healthy. I hope that makes sense. Again, feedback down below, please. All right. So Victoria says she would like a reading number 2. Okay. Okay, Victoria, your card for today. Victoria, okay, so again, comments below, but I'm feeling like you're feeling a little bit stuck. I'm feeling like you should be moving forward, but you don't really know what to do. And it's hard for me to separate out if you're just not seeing options, or if the options or potential options you're seeing, you're just Xing out. I mean, I'm feeling more like it's the first one. If that's the case, then my commentary to you is to return to kindergarten. Let it go. Just open yourself up to spirit. Maybe do something again that's grounding and healing. I know, like when I'm feeling kind of stuck, and then I go to yoga, and I wish I had my phone in my pocket so I could stop doing yoga and type in some of the messages that I get of like, oh, you should be doing this. Because those are usually like, the biggest thing is to kind of take your mind off trying to figure it out and go work on something else, because the message will come through. You're just trying too hard. I hope that, and I'm sure that makes sense to you. Okay, Cindy says she would like a reading number 1. Okay. Oh, Cindy, all right. I'm just going to do this. Now, Yvonne, didn't I do a reading for you already? Yeah, I already did a reading for you. All right, Cindy. All right. Uh-oh. Cindy, you got a mask card too. Okay, so Amy, see, you had okay cards, but Cindy got yucky card. That's an okay card. I'm going to go with this one because, yeah, I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so so what they told me was just make the freaking decision. You know what you want to do, so just decide it instead of trying to figure it out. It's like you keep getting the same answer to the same question over and over and over again, and you keep trying to have it not be the answer. But if it's persistent, spirit nags. And if you ask a question, spirit will tell you the exact same thing over and over and over and over again until you listen. And I feel like they are telling you the same thing, but you don't want to surrender to it. And the way to shift it and way to move it forward and the way to get past the obstacle is to surrender to it. Okay. Well, that was a cool one. All right, Christine. All right, Christine, did I do you already too? I hope you guys aren't like duplicating on me. Maybe not. Okay, Christine, there you are. And she would like 3. Okay. And that's your card for today. All right, so I don't know what really it has to do with this card. I mean, maybe it does. But Christine, I'm just going to make general commentary here. When I look at your energy, I just sense this general contentment that you're having, that you're in. I feel like so I'm not sure if things were, because it's just a time thing, if things have been crazy, but I'm just feeling like things have kind of settled down and you're just going, oh. And the most important part is that you're noticing it and acknowledging it and having gratitude for it. So good job. Enjoy your little rest. And I'm happy for you. Okay, feedback. All right. Yvonne, I already did. Oh, Horace said, yes, yes. Woohoo. Okay. And then Karen wants a reading. And did I already do you, Karen? I know I said hi to you. You just, all right. And Karen said, number one. Number one. Okay, and here's your card. Okay. So this is interesting, Karen, and I don't know if this will make sense to you, but I get the impression that you figured out that if you're having fun, if your energy is, I'm going to say high, that there's more playfulness to it, that there's a joyfulness to it on the inside, that you have much bigger energy and things seem to work out in the law of attraction and people like you. And I feel like you're noticing this whole dynamic versus having bad brain and being cranky and nobody wants to be around you. And I'm seeing like you are like comparing and contrasting your inner space to how people are reacting and responding to you. So keep up the good work, because when you're having fun and when you're playing, it does open up your energy and it does send out this good vibration that other people want to be around. So cool. And the observation is wonderful. So good job. Okay. So Victoria says, there's a grain of truth in everything. And then Cindy says, I seen you on the last 2 times. Amazing. Thank you, Cindy. Hi, Amy, not Amy O, but Amy Stonebreaker. Welcome to the show. And Michelle would like a reading today. Okay, and so you guys, I know that you're here late, but not right now. I already see your post, but in the future, so if you could type your comment in all caps, that would be really helpful. Okay, and Michelle would like 3. And what time is it? Because the debate starts at 8, so I'm going to be gone. All right, so here's your card for today. Interesting. So, Michelle, I kind of get the impression that you've taken a step back and have been more, and I'm going to say in the observer place, not necessarily observing inside of you, but observing what's going on around you and how people interact and how you interact and how they treat you. But I feel like you've just been kind of in this watcher place. But I feel like being in that position is providing you with an education about stuff. I don't know about stuff. Um, how you're going to apply that information, I'm not really sure in this moment, but I feel like there is a reason for it. It will be a practical application for this observation that you're in. Usually when we're in observation mode or we take that step back, it's because we want to look at things so we can potentially make different choices. And so that would be my general sense to what's going on with you right now. But it's okay to be a little bit, pulled back. I mean, there's not anything wrong with that. I mean, because I don't feel like your energy is bad. I just feel like you're in observation mode. That's okay. Okay, so Amy, not Amy O, but Amy Stonebreaker would like a reading, and she didn't give me a number. So Amy Stonebreaker, you're going to get a 1. Okay, and this is your card for today. Oh, look, and it's got rocks in it and everything. Okay, let's see. So, Amy, I get the impression that there's a decision that has been, I don't want to say eluding you, that you've been kind of avoiding. I get the impression that the decision has to do with you walking away. So whether that's you walking away from a relationship or a friendship or a job, it really doesn't matter. But it has to do with you walking away and using your energy in a different way. And I feel like not that you're having misgivings, but you're having a little bit of a hard time letting go. And I'm going to say it's not really a relationship because I'm not feeling a lot of anger inside of you. Usually if you're ending a relationship, it's like, I'm going to kill him, but I'm not sensing that in you. So, but I'm just feeling like there's hesitation with the walking away part. But in the end, you're going to be walking away. It is in your best interest, and the most healthy thing for you to do would be to walk away. Okay. And Joe's here, and she would like a reading. Okay. Number 1, please. Okay, Joe. Okay, and that's your card. So, Joe, this is kind of interesting. I mean, your comment was something shifted, and I feel like you have taken, and I don't really understand the rationale in this short period of time. Like you've taken all of this baggage that you've been walking around with, and I'm going to add this piece in and a chunk of ego and kind of have let it go or moved it to the side. I feel like this unloading has kind of left you in a new place, a little strange and unfamiliar place. I'm feeling like it will not take you long to regroup. Um, but I am feeling like for you to really maximize on this shift, is for you to stop and take a little inventory about where you were and where you are now. Um, because I feel like there's been some really good stuff that's been let go, but I'm also feeling like without taking the inventory, you could bring back some of the stuff that has not really been serving your highest good. And so making that determination would be what you would be doing. Okay, let me know if that makes sense. And Dave would like a reading too. Number 1, please. Okay, Dave, number 1. I'm looking at the time. I got 9 minutes. Man, what is with you guys in these cards today? Okay, there's your math card, which usually means that there's an energy that's stuck or you don't want to look at. Unfortunately, this card came up right underneath it. Okay, so this is kind of interesting, Dave. So I'm kind of detecting some anger in your space. The impression that I'm getting is that you're really kind of pissed off, so and it's almost like there's something that you want to do, that's somewhere you want to go, there's a thing you want to bring into your life, and you're getting a lot of slack about it. And so I'm feeling like the anger is in relationship, like it's not your anger about you or the situation, but toward other people, that they're really kind of pissing you off. Because they're messing with your groove. They're getting in the middle of your flow. So just hold to yourself. Just be right with yourself, and it will shift. Or those people will move out of your life. I mean, that's usually what happens with stuff like that. So, well, Horace says, I meant extracting facts from stories by studying many of those myths in different cultures. Oh, exactly. And when I worked on my book, Man-Made, The Chronicles of Our Extraterrestrial Gods, you could come to some conclusions, although not a definitive, like you couldn't say like this was a fact, but you could come to a general narrative about what was going on during that period. With one exception, the why. Why were they here? Why was mankind created? Why did they come to Earth in the first place? I mean, there was a lot of whys, but that never get answered in that. So it's interesting. Yvonne says, yes, yes, yes. Yay. Okay, so Diane says, do you have a message for me, please? All right, where are my time-wise? Okay. All right, so Diane, you must be a new person. So when you come back, I'm not even going to say if, when you come back, if you could just say, you would like a reading and give me a number from 1 to 3, that would be perfect. And also if you could do your message in all caps, so I can tell that you're actually communicating with me. That would be perfect. All right, so Diane, here's your card. So the word that's coming up for me, for you, is allow. I hate like saying mean things to people, but I say what comes up and what I'm feeling. And I'm feeling like you tend to feel very insecure if you can't manage things and control things. And I really don't want to use that control word, but I don't have anything else. And I'm just feeling like it interferes with other people's groove. And so perhaps, something you might consider is just allowing people to be people and not having it interfere with your internal space, because I feel like when they're not doing things in the way you feel they should be done, you find it's very upsetting to you, and I want to make the comment, it's like, they're your emotions kind of seem on, the end of the pin. um, I would question whether you have some emotional regulation issues, that if things aren't going the way you need them, that you get set off. Um, but I feel like by giving other people permission to be who they are will help calm that whole thing down. So please, Diane, commentary below. There's only 4 minutes. Okay. You know what, RLCC, I love you, but it's almost 8 o'clock and I'm watching the debate. Y'all don't have to. So, Andrea, sorry, can't do it. All right. Hi, Mary. Cindy says, I'm really enjoying peace. I have worked hard to achieve it. And Cindy, I think you're doing really great. Hi, John. I love you very, very much, and I miss you, but I got to go because I got to watch the debate. Karen says I made sense. Amy says, I knew the mask cards were coming, been frustrated often lately with myself, looking forward to getting through the other side. I can handle a couple more weeks knowing I will be a better me. And Amy, way better, way better. All right. All right, guys. So anyway, I got to go. If you'd like to schedule a private consultation for me, please go to my webpage, soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. You can also get a copy of my book, Man-Made, The Chronicles of Our Extraterrestrial Gods. If you want to get it on Amazon, it is under the title E.T. Chronicles, What Myth and Legends Have to Say About Human Origins. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. And I will see you all next week, same time, same location. And until then, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. Go watch the debate and be blessed.